Hello, I'm Neil, UK English tutor, and today is going to be the first video in what will be a series of videos about common mistakes. And when I was making this list of things that I've spotted and I've heard in the class, I realised that it's not only language learners who make these mistakes, it's also native speakers who do these. So let's get started. Here's the first one. It is every day as two words or one word. There's often confusion over this. So, as one word, every day means usual, regular, normal. And it is something that you would use every day. That's two words. So, for example, you can apply it to clothes. You can have special clothes for a special thing, like cycling shoes, running shoes. You can have a hat that you only wear to weddings, or a suit that you only wear for important events, job interview. These are special things. But the clothes that I'm wearing now are everyday clothes. I can wear them in the garden, I can go shopping, I can drive the car. They're just everyday clothes. They have no special purpose. Then, every day, as two words, is an adverbial phrase, and it means each day. So, you could say, every day I brush my teeth. Every day I go to work. Every day I watch the fake news on TV. So, as one word, it's an adjective. Usually comes before a noun. As two words, it's an adverbial phrase meaning each day. The next one, I think, is more likely to be a mistake made by native speakers than language learners, because as language learners, you learn the language in a much more bit by bit way. You learn all the grammar from grammar books and having it explained to you. When you learn your native language, you learn it as a child just by listening and using. This mistake is using could of instead of could have done something. This is a structure where you use could have done something to talk about a different choice in the past. Like, for example, yesterday I stayed at home and played games all day, but I could have gone out on my bike. I could have stayed at home and eaten cake all day. So it's when you're talking about when there was a choice in the past, could have done something different. There was the choice to do this other thing. And I think it's because it gets reduced to could have, could apostrophe VE. It's very common in the UK to say this. Oh, I could have done this, or I could have done that. And people, maybe they'd never learned grammar, maybe they don't do much written work, so they actually write it sometimes on forums and social media as could have. It's also true that it's mistakenly used when there's a negative, when you believe something could not have happened. I've seen it and I've heard it. You couldn't have done that. So, for example, you don't believe somebody could have known about the surprise party. So you say, you couldn't have known about the party. We kept it secret. You couldn't have known. Not you couldn't have known. There is no couldn't of, it's couldn't have. Often pronounced couldn't have. The third mistake on my list is Alot as one word. Alot is two words, and we use this phrase a lot. You could say, I like to eat a lot of food every day. There are a lot of apples in this garden at the moment. There is a word, Alot, as one word, but it has two L's, A-double-L-O-T, and that means to share or distribute. But when you're talking about a lot of things, it's two words. A lot of people make this mistake. Next on the list is advice and advise, getting the two mixed up. And they have different pronunciation. Advice with a C is pronounced with a S sound, advice. This is a noun. And advise with a Z sound, spelt with an S, is a verb. One way you can remember this is with advice as a noun, remember that the end of the word, where it's got ice, ice is a noun most of the time, almost always. This same mistake happens with three other words. Practice, but with practice, whether it's with a C or an S, the pronunciation is the same. Practice with a C is a noun, practice with an S is a verb. There's device and devise. A device is like your mobile phone or some gadget. It's a noun. Devise with an S as a verb means to kind of create, make something like you could devise a plan, you could devise a system. And another word, almost exactly the same rule, but not ICE, it's just the CE or SE. This is license. You can have a driving license with a C, and sometimes one department or organisation will license somebody to do something as a verb, then it's with an S. The fifth word on the list is thank you. I've seen thank you written as one word. One word, really? Thanks is one word. Thank you is two words. Sometimes I've even seen it with a hyphen. Thank hyphen you. If you are going to adopt these different ways, then you're going to run into problems wondering which one do I use where. You can keep it really simple. Thank you is two words, always, every situation. You don't need to join it ever. Next is something that is a slightly bigger problem. This is the three words, there, and there. They are all three different words with different spellings and different meanings. They are homophones. This means all the three words, when you say them, they sound exactly the same. You pronounce them the same. There. Starting with there, they are, they apostrophe RE. If you're in doubt when you're writing which one to use, replace where you need to put there, replace it with they are. If it makes perfect sense, that's the one to use. Then there's their, T-H-E-I-R. This is the third person, plural, possessive adjective. And it's almost always followed by a noun. You could say, we saw their house and it was lovely, although it was purple. I saw their grandparents yesterday on TV. They were rioting. And you could say, listen to those children singing. Their voices are awful. When you're wondering which version of their to use, if you can replace it with our or your, Y-O-U-R, both possessive adjectives, and it makes some sense, that's probably the one to use. There, spelled T-H-E-R-E, is an adverb to talk about place. It's talking about location, something in or at a location. You could say, he's not there, he's over there. I went outside and my car wasn't there. There answers the question where. And if you look at the spelling, there, T-H-E-R-E, it's got here in it, here, to remind you it's about location. So if you're wondering which one to use, try replacing it with just here. You could say, he's over, instead of he's over there, he's over here. Okay, the place is different, but you know you've got the right word. There, T-H-E-R-E, is also a pronoun to introduce a subject. You can say, there is a problem. There was a young woman from Nantucket. Yeah. There are so many kinds of chocolate. And there are lots of apples in this garden. In summary then, T-H-E-R-E, there, has got here in it, and it's for location usually, or to introduce a subject. T-H-E-I-R, there, is for possession. We like their house. It belongs to them. So there is usually followed by a noun that belongs to the subject. And they are, you can test it with they are because it's two words. That's it for today. This is my email address. I'm Neil, UK English Tutor.